Hello, are we live? I think we had some technical difficulties as we were entering here, but I believe we're good now. I think we're rolling. I'm gonna check all things in terms of the YouTube, but I believe we're a good go here. Um, nope, never mind. Can people see me? Yes, you will never get those 2 minutes and 38 seconds back in your life. I hope you can skip. But here we are, the morning jackpot. Welcome. This show is presented by SoBet.io. We are going to be talking all things NBA today. We got a special guest. We got actually two special guests coming on the show. So very excited for that. But fellas, we had a lot of basketball last night that we got to talk about. We got some basketball tonight that we got to talk about. And more importantly, for the future, the second round matchups. That's ultimately what we need to talk about here today. Minnesota versus Denver is getting kicked off this weekend, and I've never been more excited to see my two enemies go at it. So betting on the NBA is a very difficult thing, in my opinion. Had the Sixers last night, the Knicks won. Tough game, very tough game. We'll talk about that in a sec. But I wake up this morning. I don't know if I'm tired of throwing my hard-earned money away, but I definitely feel a different type of energy knowing that my bet didn't hit compared to when it does hit. And when you're on bet, your bets are gonna hit. So are you tired of throwing away your hard-earned cash? The amateur bettor just doesn't understand. You're giving Vegas the win every week by picking random teams and relying on luck. Every single day, a roster of 50 vetted experts post plays exclusively on SoBet's unique feed. Take Parlay Poppies, one of the best, if not the best, sports bettor on SoBet. He was up over 110 units in the month of March. Or what about Hobby Capper? 17-6 to start the MLB season. And you can't forget about Gutsy Picks Cash. Up over 100 units in the last two MLB seasons. So hop on it now when MLB is hot. Obviously, when you get to the summer, that's a lot of the times when most sports slow down. Now we have the rise of Caitlin Clark, the WNBA. That's going to be going on. That's going to be electric. We got the Olympics. It's going to be electric. But there's some dry months in the summer when you're like, holy shit, what do I bet on? You bet on baseball. And if you don't know baseball, if you don't understand the game of baseball, well, then just hop on SoBet and just tail it blindly. Whether you're tailing blindly or picking your favorite pros or simply just cherry picking bets, SoBet's feed has something to offer for you. We can't wait to share our strategies with you on SoBet and also on the morning jackpot because my opinions are valid too. So sign up today. Use code jackpot at SoBet.io. They got the app as well. But appreciate everyone for tuning in here on this lovely, what is it, a Friday, May 3rd? Wow. That's a crazy, crazy day because we're a day away from May the Force be with you. Anyways, Knicks, Sixers, it's a wrap. Philadelphia failed. You home for game 6. You buy 2,000 tickets to keep New Yorkers away. And Jalen Brunson does what Jalen Brunson does best. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and apologize for my opinions on Jalen Brunson because I still truly believe that he's very overrated. But he's a very good basketball player. He's very talented. His shot-making ability late in that game was magnificent. His floater ability is something I've never seen before. Like the shots that Brunson makes, it's just like, oh, here we go again. And he's a small guy. You usually say that about a big guy. You usually say that about Jokic when he's, busting you down and taking 4-pound dribbles to the right, doing a fake side hook, slipping to the left and laying it right in. Like these are demoralizing buckets from Jalen Brunson, and his performance last night did not disappoint. It's tough to see Philadelphia and more so just Joel Embiid be as unhealthy as he was throughout this series, because you have to wonder, like, if Embiid's 100%, New York doesn't win this series, right? But it's just kind of the nature of the beast. I thought Embiid played as good as he could have played. You just got to tip your cap in moments like this because New York's moving on. And I'm excited because ultimately Milwaukee's gone. Eliminated last night. Damian Lillard made a surprise appearance, apparently. We had the whole show yesterday. I went on another show. I did like 3 or 4. Bro, all day I'm talking about Bucks Pacers. And not a lick of information about Damian Lillard being able to play came out. And then I turn on the game and Dame's in. And I'm like, how is Dame in? Because the worst part about all that is if you took Chris Middleton over 25.5 points, well, that shit was not going to hit if Damian Lillard was going to play. So, yeah, that was a tough one. Tyrese Halliburton came to play, though. The Pacers as a whole came to play. The crowd, some of the lobs they're making, it's just good vibes in Indiana right now. I don't think they can beat the Knicks, but I do think that we are setting ourselves up for a Boston versus New York Eastern Conference Finals. There's a world where Kristaps is not available for that series, and in that case, it definitely becomes a little more competitive. But Boston in 5, like, respectfully, yeah, that's about all I got on that series specifically. We had the Bucks get eliminated last night, though. I'm here to tell you right now. Ask yourself, where do the Milwaukee Bucks play? They play in Milwaukee. Who the hell wants to live in Milwaukee? Like, respectfully, is there a soul out there that enjoys Milwaukee? Because me personally, if I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo and I've just gotten first round exited back-to-back years, I was handled incorrectly as an organization all year, didn't get to play in the playoff series that mattered, was hurt, Dame was hurt. Like, if I'm Damian Lillard and I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo, I get the hell out of Milwaukee. What are we doing? Dame, you're wasting your career. You're wasting it. Portland and Milwaukee, you're Damian Lillard. Get him to Miami. Get him to Los Angeles. Get him to Dallas. Anywhere but Milwaukee. And then for Giannis Antetokounmpo, you won the championship. You won that championship for Milwaukee. You have nothing left to do in Milwaukee. Everyone gets it. We all are going to be like, oh, that makes total sense that Giannis left Milwaukee. Who the hell wants to live in Milwaukee? Right? Giannis, it's okay. You can leave. The loyalty card, at a certain point, you got to realize that organization is failing you. I'm not a Giannis fan. I'm not a guy who's going to sit up here and say Giannis is the best player in the league like some people. But I'll tell you he's dominant. I'll tell you he can win a championship. I'll tell you he can be a 1 or a 2 on one of the best teams in the league. Giannis is dominant. Put him with a team and put him with a player and put him with a culture that makes the right decisions and does the right thing. We got some loyalty in the chat. Everybody still knows Dame is loyal even after losing. I don't think it's about loyalty in Milwaukee, though. Like, people have to realize Giannis and Dame in Milwaukee is not good. It's not a good fit for anybody. It doesn't help anybody. They're never going to win a championship there. If they do, it would be a perfect situation and everything would just have to go their way. But this was a very, telltale type of year for the Milwaukee Bucks. You can't handle two superstars on your team. You're the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, get the hell out of there. Dame, get the hell out of there. Where does Giannis go? I don't know. Golden State, maybe. Golden State. We got Pick'em PD joining the show today. We got my guy Matt. We got a great show ahead for you all. I want to talk about this for a second. JJ Redick, he's been in the media ever since his playing days were over. Been on ESPN, started a podcast with LeBron. JJ Redick could be in the running for the next Lakers head coach job. So my thoughts on that, I'm torn because I want LeBron to go to Golden State. That's what I want. That's in my dream world, in my world where I'm truly content with the game of basketball when LeBron and Steph hang it up, is that I got to see them play together for at least 1 year in Golden State. That would make me so content in life. But I can see where Lakers fans and the franchise is coming from on this one. If you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you want to keep LeBron, which I assume you would, he's LeBron James, you want to give LeBron the best chance to win a championship and make him happy. That starts with getting Trae Young. That starts with getting a Donovan Mitchell. That starts with trading for a Dame. I don't know. Your team ain't good. You got to make it better. But then it starts with the coaching. It starts with JJ Redick. And I've been hearing a lot of rumblings about this idea that JJ Redick and LeBron, they started a podcast about basketball, about X's and O's. And JJ Redick and LeBron got their clipboards out. And you're telling me LeBron is not teaching JJ Redick how to coach the Los Angeles Lakers for the 2024-25 NBA season? That's a scary sight. That's content. I'd listen to that podcast. I do. As a matter of fact, I was watching it last night. But you're telling me that JJ Redick and LeBron are going to do a podcast while JJ's the coach of the Lakers and LeBron is in his final last dance season? I mean, it's a farewell tour if LeBron returns. This is it for LeBron. I want to see LeBron go somewhere else so he can have kind of a 3-year stint. I do think if he stays in LA, that means he's got one left. Like, that's it. You play when you're 40 and you're done. And I think LeBron, in the back of your head, when Tom Brady was rising in age, in the back of his head, I think he had 45. I think he had 45 ingrained in his brain. He probably had 50. But he had 45 ingrained in his brain saying, this is what I'm playing till. And then you just take it year by year, but you try and get to that goal because all these guys set goals. So in my head, LeBron probably has set this goal to play till he's 40 and to be just as good at the age of 40 as he was at the age of 27. I fully believe that. Not in LA, unless you get Trae Young. But if I'm LeBron, everyone's throwing out, Trae Young's going to Los Angeles. Donovan Mitchell, go get this guy for LA. Go get this guy. None of them are Stephen Curry. You need to understand, if LeBron wants to play with Steph, that's what trumps all. That's what LeBron does. LeBron literally is going to go to Rich Paul and say, listen, here are my two options. Either I go back to LA for a year and I do, a farewell tour that respectfully, it'll be great. It'll be beautiful. But at the same time, you're not winning the championship in LA. You're not winning a championship with the Lakers. Your other option is go to Golden State. It is. It's very simple. But with that being said, we got our boy Matt backstage, and we're gonna welcome him on. And
Yes, sir. What's up, Jack?
how we doing, baby? Listen, I quickly let's check out your mic. Make sure it's all good.
We all good?
Here,
All
you
good
want
here?
to check the damn, that shit is echoing like a mother. Here.
My fault, brother.
No, you're good. Here, this is what we'll do. I'm gonna put him backstage and we're gonna cook with him right now. All right, so Matt, I know you can hear me right now. What I want you to do is go to the settings with your mic, like go to the settings in the restream, and then see where the audio input is coming from. If it's coming from the mic and now is the sound it was making, then just switch it to your MacBook, and if not, try it again. Because we was getting some feedback. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications. We are live, the Morning Jackpot, and we got Matt joining us here in a second. Some technical difficulties with that beautiful rainbow mic, but I think he's giving me the thumbs up in the background now.
This sound better?
Oh! Wait, speak?
This better? Yes, no? Good?
No, it's really down bad. But here's what we'll do. Turn it to the MacBook and just pretend like the mic is irrelevant in life.
I got you. Here.
Matt is backstage. Matt is a Timberwolves fan, so I felt like it was right for us to bring Matt on today, especially because we got Denver versus Minnesota coming up very shortly, and it's a series. That's a series to preview. So we got to get the best of the best in here to talk it up. So once we get Matt's technical difficulties figured out, we will be good to go there. But we got some chats. Let's check out the chats before we get into that. Leaving from Portland, even if the Portland fans can't say he's not loyal. Guy played for a bum organization for so long. Yeah, he played for a bum organization for too long, and he went to another bum organization. Like you're just not going to win in Milwaukee, respectfully.
This a little bit better?
It's just getting like some audio feedback. Like I don't know what it is.
Huh.
If you want to just unplug the mic completely.
Yeah.
And then turn on the MacBook input audio.
There we go. Is that any better?
It's just still getting feedback, I think.
What the heck, bro? I apologize for this. I'm trying to figure it out for you.
No, you're good. You want to try and there we go.
There we go. All right, let me try. If that sounds better, let me try to switch to my.
No, it's still like breaking through like crazy. I don't know if your audio input is just like completely messed up. No, I can't hear you.
All right. I think we're good.
It sounds like you're in a submarine under the ocean.
Gosh, bro. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, Matt, you're gonna figure it out in the backstage, and we're gonna get that situated. Don't you worry. We're gonna find a way to get you on here. But with that being said, I think it's time that we quickly talk about what the hell is going on in Phoenix right now, because the Phoenix Suns, bro. Oh, here we go. We got Pick'em Petey backstage as well. So quickly, I'm going to talk about Phoenix, and then we're going to give a beautiful introduction to Pick'em Petey, and we're going to get the stage set. Phoenix, they got a big three right now. They have the big three, and they have absolutely nothing else. And, recently, a lot of talks with the organization about what the hell are you going to do? You're going to get rid of Kevin Durant. You're going to trade Devin Booker. You're going to blow up the whole thing. You just ride it back. You can't ride that back, but what you can do is you can improve the roster. And I think people are so critical in the media and very biased. And also, when you're looking at Phoenix, everyone's just pointing at Kevin Durant, saying Kevin Durant's the problem, because it's always Kevin Durant being the problem. Everyone wants to talk shit about Kevin Durant. And I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns saying, y'all got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Build around that and make some magic happen this offseason. That's a good problem to have. You're not the Sacramento Kings. You're not the New Orleans Pelicans, who have your star player who doesn't even play. Like, there are other franchises that have bigger problems right now than what the hell is going on in Phoenix. I'm not terribly concerned with the future of the Phoenix Suns if you just give this big three a chance and you just surround them, not even with help, get him just a point guard. Throw Isaiah Thomas in there. I know he's probably a little too small. Jalen Brunson's cooking right now. What's wrong with that? But anyways, we got Pick'em Petey backstage to join us here on the Morning Jackpot. Petey, welcome.
How's it hanging?
Welcome to the show, brother.
It's good to see you.
So I got a couple of quick questions right off the bat here for you. The first one being, what's the difference? You know, this is an NBA show, so we're going to talk a little NBA, but I know you've been cooking with MLB.
That's right.
And I know you do a lot of betting overall. So, like, what is the difference between, say, betting on the NBA versus every other sport? Because I feel like in the regular season, the NBA is such a what the hell happens? Who knows who's going to show up? You got to be very careful when betting on the game of basketball. In the playoffs, it feels like it changes a little bit, but even then, who the hell knows which star is going to show up on a given night? It feels like baseball a little more straightforward. You know what pitcher you're getting. You know, football is every Sunday. It's not every other day. So what's the difference between basketball, betting on basketball, and the strategy you take when betting on the NBA versus any other sport?
Well, if we're talking playoff basketball, I'm a huge system guy when it comes to playoff basketball. I love the round one of the NBA playoffs taking unders. That's been cashing at a great level so far. I think because the big difference people don't see is one, there's the playoff defense, and obviously the lines are adjusted to an extent for playoff defense. They drop down, but the public sees that and they're like, hang on. The over under this is 208 and they hammer the over, so the line gets shifted just to begin with, and it's not fully demonstrated to begin with in the line shift from Vegas. So there's a ton of value on that. There's the situational plays, 3-1 series, 3-0 series. It's not like free money or something, but just understanding that the league is going to give a little bit of a favor to the team that's down 3-0, 3-1 to try to extend the series. So it's a lot of situational stuff. It's a lot of system stuff. I think that more so in NBA than anything else, because in the MLB, you just don't see the same amount of money. Same thing with the NHL. You don't see the same volume of cash, even in the playoffs on a given game. So there's not as much incentive. There's not as much of a fade the public situation. And in the NFL, it's one game. There is no series situation. So those are a couple of the major factors, at least for playoff NBA.
Totally understand. I go back and forth with it. I know we have Lloyd on here a couple of times this past week, and he'd been hanging out with Gutsy too much because he said the words that I didn't want him to say. It's the idea that I don't bet on the NBA. Like, Gutsy always used to say that, and Lloyd's been hopping on it. And Lloyd played basketball growing up, so Gutsy got in his head about it, and now Lloyd doesn't bet on the it's not a good situation. We need to convince these people to start betting more on the NBA and just throw the money in the NBA playoffs, because it's actually a little bit easier in the NBA playoffs. Like you mentioned, like the 3-1 series, the 3-0 series, you can kind of just tell the motives going into a given game. Like, take, for example, the Clippers versus the Mavericks in Game 5. It's in LA, but the Mavericks were coming off a loss. They were playing against a Clippers team without Kawhi for a second game in a row. So you have the ability to game plan for that second game in a row against the Kawhi-less Clippers, right? You look at Game 5, you say it's 2-2. If Dallas wins this, they get to go home up 3-2 with a chance to close it out in Game 6, and the Clippers probably still won't have Kawhi Leonard. So that automatically, without understanding what the hell is going on between the two teams, it's a 2-2 series. The star player is Luka Doncic. In his head, this is a takeover game, Game 5. You get this back to Game 6 with a chance to close it out. That's kind of a scenario I feel like you see a lot in basketball that allows you to just bet on a given thing.
Yeah, the situational reads, even taking overs for some of the star players, because they're obviously, the defense is harder, so it's not like free. But if you're talking about shots that are going up or just the amount of usage, you're going to see star players do way more in the finals, because the reason they're not doing as much during the regular season is because it's just not sustainable on their bodies to be putting up 50 shots a game or whatever. But some of the star players like Luka should be putting up like half their team's shots. That is best for the team. So there's a lot of situational reads in these spots. I think what you just laid out there is a great example. And then again, just by looking at the way the cash is moving, you can find value just to begin with. So when people are like, I don't bet the NBA, it's frustrating to bet the NBA. Things happen. There are times when teams just don't show up, for sure. But like, we have a job to do here. We got to find a way to find value. The game is on. I need action. Why else am I watching this?
So speaking of value, I'm sure you got a couple of MLB picks up your sleeve. I'd love, before we talk anything NBA in terms of the games tonight, and it may be a look ahead into a couple of the second round matchups. Are there any? You can give me one. You can give me two. You can give me three. You can give me 4 or 5. It does not matter. This is in many ways also a SoBet exclusive stream, and so we got our guy Pick'em PD on here. He is a SoBet handicapper, and he's gonna give you some expert picks right here. But you can give me as many picks as you want. I know you already got your rundown, so just go for it.
Well, I'll tell you this. We're going to do one just to kick it off, just to get something for the early game. We'll have the rest up later. We'll figure it out. But I got to flex before we get into this. 9 out of the last 10 days have been winning days. We had a 6-game win streak. Vegas took 2 out of 3 from us. 2 out of 3. Congrats. They got 1 on us. And then we win 3 straight in a row. It's been just an absolute dominant run. Generational. We got the Friday afternoon tradition. Cubs are playing. They're up against the Brewers. Brewers are pretty overvalued right now. They're kind of, I'm not saying they're at the Pirates level. They're definitely a better team, but they're kind of an overvalued team right now that had a hotter start, but not with any sustainable sort of play. The guy they're throwing today is like a 1.68 whip, like not strong at all. What's his face for the Cubs, like Wisniewski or whatever, is throwing today. We don't have a ton of data on him, but he's having a good season so far. He's got like I want to say a 0.87 whip. He's been overperforming, but still like putting up pretty good numbers for him so far. The over-under in the game, 7.5, which is a little bit tempting, especially for the early spot, but you can get Cubs money line at minus 130 on this. I'm always, you can shop it. You might see 125 if you wait a second. I'd probably take the line early on this game because it's Cubs. It's Friday afternoon Cubs game. That's just like the standard. People love to see it. They'll probably ride Cubs, so you might see that juice up a little bit. But I still think it's great value just to take the Cubs money line, kick off your day with a nice little play. Bang. Let's get it.
Easy enough. That is Pick'em PD. Make sure you join SoBet. Use code Jackpot to get any more plays. Obviously, you just say you're going to get the rest of the slate up later. So if you want to check that out, if you don't want to miss that, make sure you sign up for SoBet. But we got a couple of NBA games tonight. We're curious if you got any leans or ideas as to what might go down tonight. And more importantly, we got second round matchups that we can kind of preview here. I'm going to get my guy Matt back in here. Let's see if his audio starts to work.
Better?
Yeah, we're gonna have a panel here for the NBA, but we got 2 games tonight. So first game, what do we got? We have it's not the Clippers.
We got Cavs Magic.
Cavs versus Magic. So we got Cavs Magic game 6. I personally look at this one, understanding Orlando's had success at home, has not had success on the road. Obviously, game 5 was close, down to the wire, but if you're Cleveland, you probably want to close this one out. You probably want to get Orlando out of there. And I look at a team like Cleveland, a little more experienced, a little more veteran play. Orlando in game 6 might kind of run out of gas, a long series, first one for them in a very long time. I'm looking at Cleveland to win this game outright. I'm going to go with Cleveland. Matt, I'd love to hear your opinion on who you got between Cleveland and Orlando.
So I truly think that the trend that we've seen so far throughout this series is going to continue. And I think the Magic are going to come out and take another dub at home just because the 5 games that we've played so far, it's been the home team that's won. I don't really know why this trend would continue, but if you are the Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't really think that's any reason to sweat because I do think, like you just said, they're more experienced. They have more firepower. I think Donovan Mitchell is the best player in the series. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Cleveland. They shouldn't sweat even if they lose tonight.
Yeah, Cleveland back at home for game 7 would probably the one you'd take. But I like to see a team take some initiative step on Orlando in game 6, make a little bit of a statement to Boston, being like, hey, you know, we're not taking this Orlando Magic team game 7. We're ready for Boston. We're ready for y'all. And hey, fella, I'll be ready for you. But Petey, you got any thoughts on this Cleveland versus Orlando game tonight?
Cleveland still have LeBron.
He's coming back. Those are the odds. Cleveland at plus 12,000 to land LeBron next season. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, no LeBron. Give me the Magic. Give me Tracy McGrady, baby. Let's get the job done tonight.
I love it. All right, Clippers versus Mavs. I like the Mavs. I like Luka in this one. I've always liked Luka in this one. I think even with Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers were going to be cooked, but without him, you rely too much on a guy named James Harden. And James Harden as your 1A, as the guy who needs to be scoring all the points, it's not sustainable for success in life. So, Matt, do you agree with this idea that the Mavericks close it out in game 6, or you think the Clippers extend the series?
This is the Mavericks game 100% of the way. Like you said, the Clippers have just been leaning too much on James Harden, and I would almost like to say they've been leaning on Paul George a little bit too much too, because I feel like when it comes to Paul George, everybody's so wrapped up in the Indiana days and the OKC days when he was the MVP candidate that we're all kind of blinded to the fact that Paul George is an older guy in this league. He's one of the older players that we have, and you can't rely on him to go out and put up 30 points a night. Sure, he's going to do that, give or take, because he's an NBA superstar at the end of the day. But we can't be relying on James Harden and Paul George to go out and put up 70 points every game against the Mavericks. So I really like Luka and I like Kyrie to take this matchup tonight.
Yeah, 1,000%. Petey, before I ask you on the Dallas versus Clippers, I've been asking a lot of people this dynamic duo question because the Clippers are without Kawhi Leonard, and their duo is James Harden and Paul George, and that's going up against Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. If you had to pick a duo in this very moment, James Harden and Paul George or Kyrie and Luka, I don't think it's a question. Do you agree with me? You go with Dallas's duo right now?
Easy, absolutely.
And that feels like the giveaway to why Dallas should handle business when Kawhi Leonard is not on the court. I always look at NBA playoff matchups as who's the best player in the series, who is the superstar on each team. You take both of their bobbleheads, you put them next to each other, and you say, all right, which one am I taking? And almost always would I take Luka Doncic over, frankly, anybody except for Jason Tatum. So I'm going Luka. I'm going to Mavericks, but would you agree here? You think Mavs take game 6, or do the Clippers extend this thing and put some pressure on the Mavericks for a game 7 back in LA?
I would like to see a game 7. I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I'm with you guys on this one. I think the Mavs handle business. I don't see the way that the Clippers can get through 4 quarters with this team.
Knicks to the finals. Okay. All
Let's
right.
get it.
That's definitely
Here we go.
It's an interesting opinion there. But yeah. Crazier things have happened in life. Definitely a lot of crazier things have happened in life. And I'm telling you right now, that is not happening. That is, we're just going to erase that from the board. All right. let's talk second round matchups because, the first round has been good. First round's been good. I don't think first round's been great. I think the first round, everyone was really excited to get to the NBA playoffs. And then we all kind of realized there's about 7 or 8 really good teams. There's 2 or 3 superstar teams. There's 8 really good teams. There's about 8 mediocre teams that made the playoffs that in reality they weren't going anywhere. And so the second round is when it really starts. So I'm looking at the first series that was made, Denver versus the Timberwolves. I know, Matt, you a big T-Wolves guy. Petey, I have no idea where you lean on this one. I would assume that you would appreciate the greatness of a defending champion and Nikola Jokic as potentially winning his 3rd MVP this year. But I'll start with you, Matt. You're the homer here. Do the T-Wolves stand a chance against Denver?
Yeah, you said it right there. I'm a freaking homer, bro. Absolutely, they stand a chance. A lot of this series is going to depend on the play of Karl Anthony Towns on the offensive side of the ball. Because if you are the Denver Nuggets, who's going to defend Anthony Edwards? Nobody's going to keep up with that guy. So what I really expect the Denver Nuggets to do is to come out and double Ant hard, double him early, and just try to eliminate him from the game. And just because he does kind of have that tendency to get tunnel vision to try to make the heroic pass, and they just want to force him into bad decision making. So, if you can get your 1B going in Karl Anthony Towns, I feel like that's going to be the key to success on the offensive side of the ball. But where I really think Minnesota does stand a chance against Denver versus any other team in the West is their height and their defense. How are Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, and Karl Anthony Towns going to defend the two-man game of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic? And that is why I think Minnesota will win the series. I think Jaden McDaniels is the best on-ball defender in the NBA, and it's not close. That's something I've been standing on for 2 years now, and I don't think Jamal Murray is gonna have the level of production that we've seen in past playoff series. Because I think as of now, it's almost a unanimous call that Jamal Murray is one of the best, if not the best, playoff riser that the NBA has ever seen. So obviously, you're going to have a lot of worries there. So a lot of it's just going to come down to how well can Jaden McDaniels play Jamal Murray. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 games over the Denver Nuggets. And that's no disrespect to Denver, but I'm a Wolves fan, man. Got to stand on it.
No, I think you bring up a lot of great points. The idea that Anthony Edwards, who the hell is going to guard him? It's like, yeah, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, he's a champ, but don't we know Kentavious Caldwell Pope as a 3-point shooter? I mean, yeah, good defender, he's fine, but I'm looking at Ant Edwards in this series, and then I look at the Denver Nuggets, what they got between Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. I'm asking myself, all right, who's the better player in this series? Well, it's Nikola Jokic, and then it's Anthony Edwards, and then it's Jamal Murray. It's kind of those 3 guys, but there's a world where Anthony Edwards outperforms everybody in this series, and I think that's the unique trait about Anthony Edwards is he might not be consistently the best player in every series, but he has the ability at the young age he's not going to be consistent. He can give you 47 and demoralize you and dunk it from the free throw line. And I just think there's a value to that style of basketball. There's a value to playing like Michael Jordan, believe it or not. But Minnesota's cooked. They have absolutely no chance. You're talking about Anthony Edwards being the next face of the league, and he's just not. Jason Tatum had to go up against Milwaukee, the defending champs, when they went to the finals when Tatum was 23. Edwards has a chance to repeat history and play against the defending champs and the best player in the league, and Nikola Jokic, supposedly, and he's just not gonna. He's not gonna get that done. They both swept Kevin Durant. They both get the defending champ. And one of them is going to get by the defending champ. The other one gets sent home. I do not think Anthony Edwards has the ability to lead Minnesota past the gauntlet of Denver. Pick 'em, Petey. Are you on Denver here to go back to the finals?
Yeah, as the guy who's won back-to-back-to-back days here on SoBet, I have to respect the repeat job. And I think the Nuggets are winning it all again this year. Them trailing to me isn't like an indictment on their talent. Them trailing consistently is like, what does it take to beat this team? You go up 15, you go up 17, and they were doing this in the regular season too. I think they're just chilling. I think they're like, guys, all right, 6 minutes left in the third. You want to take care of business? I think that's like how they play. And I think that's what we're going to see. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Timberwolves come out to a 10-point lead in the first half and people start getting excited and then they lose by 18 and people are just like, damn, this is going to be an ugly series.
I do want to make a quick little point on that real quick. This is just going back to me being a homer yet again. Minnesota Timberwolves have kind of had what's the word I'm looking for? They have that reputation as a franchise that when that second half of the game comes around, that's kind of when stuff starts to go downhill. But this year, the only reason that I truly think the Wolves do have a shot is something I forgot to bring up earlier, is because the Wolves are the best second half team in the NBA. And I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a comment there that right here, I'd be nervous as a Nuggets fan. Trailed a ton in that Lakers series. I truly think if Minnesota gets out to that early lead, they're not going to take their foot off the gas pedal. Anthony Edwards is just going to continue to go at Nikola Jokic. He's going to continue to go at Jamal Murray, and I think it's going to be a nightmare for him.
Listen, this is going to be the best series of this early playoffs, and Ant Edwards just has the ability to go take it. He just has the ability to say, you know what? I'm here. I'm the best player, which is why I think Denver, like Ant Edwards, as crazy as this sounds, Ant Edwards is probably a bigger threat to Denver than LeBron was. And that's because Ant Edwards can give you 56 and he can give you 12 dunks from the free throw line. It's a scary sight to see what Anthony Edwards is starting to do. I think there's so much talent in the NBA that it's like when we see the birth of another type of guy like this, it's like, damn. But the league is in great hands in many ways, not with the New York Knicks, but with the Celtics and with the Nuggets and with the Timberwolves and the Mavericks. Like every other team besides the New York Knicks are chilling. I don't know if either of y'all watched the game last night between the Knicks and the Sixers. I think we can quickly kind of talk about that. I brought it up early on the show, but my goodness, Jalen Brunson, some of his shots, bro, some of the shots that he makes, I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying, do I take back a lot of the things that I say about Jalen Brunson? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that because he's still a little small, scrawny little point guard that the only dude that can win a championship that way is Stephen Curry. He's the only point guard that I truly believe can be the best player on your team and win a championship. That was a take earlier in the NBA season by somebody on ESPN, and I think it became a real question: is can Jalen Brunson be the number one option on a championship team? Can Jalen Brunson be the best player on the New York Knicks, and in that given year they win the championship? With the talent in the league, with the teams in the league right now, I don't think that New York can win a championship with Jalen Brunson as your one. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me. Petey, your thoughts on this one?
Well, I don't think that the Knicks can win a championship with Brunson with this team as they have, but I don't think anyone can except the Celtics and the Nuggets. I really think
I agree.
This is it really a Brunson thing, or is it just what does it take to beat either of those teams at this point? And you just need so much. I don't think that anyone has the ability to absolutely take over game. To your point, Steph Curry, yeah, he could just hit 13 threes in a game, maybe something. It would take like miraculous level of play to win 4 games like that. It's just not happening. So yeah, is it Brunson? Partially, sure, but it's more the competition that needs to be beaten in order to win a championship this year.
No, it's actually a really good take. The idea that Boston and Denver seem to be the two clear-cut teams. Like there's so much talent. There's the Luka Doncic's, the SGAs, the Anthony Edwards, all these dudes, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, all these guys that they've had probably the best season they've ever had in their individual careers. And in any given year, your team probably goes to the conference finals. Your team might get to the NBA finals. You as a superstar on your team can individually carry that team to an NBA final. Not anymore. Not anymore. LeBron goes for 31, 8, and 9 in game 5, and they had no chance because Anthony Davis, you know what I'm saying? It's like you need the second guy. You need the duo. You need everything. You need so many things to go your way in order to win in this league because the two teams at the top are just that good. I'm talking about this Celtics starting 5 like they're the greatest starting 5 in the history of life. And I fully believe that with every bone in my body. At 95, 96, 17 Warriors, God bless America. We just got to get it done. And then that take can be a real take. But my goodness, that starting 5 without Kristaps, you throw Al Horford in there, we're not the greatest starting 5 in the history of life. We might be the best starting 5 in this current NBA still with Al Horford, which is why I'm like, when Kristaps goes out for you guys, do you guys say like, oh shit, the Celtics might be cooked? Like at least against Denver, if there's a world where Kristaps is not playing against Denver, does Boston win that series?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I don't think so either. I think a lot of that is going to depend on how healthy Kristaps is. Just because who's gonna guard Jokic then? Because Kristaps Porzingis does present that automatic mismatch, being how big he is, and I know Jokic is a lot stronger than Kristaps is, but that height difference still makes a really big difference. So yeah, I don't think they stand a chance if Kristaps doesn't play.
What about New York? No Kristaps versus New York. I think the Celtics would still win that series in 5 games.
Most likely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that maybe the Knicks could sneak by, but it's just like you said earlier, it's just a lot of the cards have to fall in place. And like I'm obviously not hoping this happens, but if that were to happen, I think that it would just have to be another injury on Boston's side for the Knicks to be favored in that series. So yeah, I'd take Celtics as well.
All right, so we got a couple more things to go here. I brought up JJ Redick in the headlines early when both of y'all weren't on. Do either of you think it's a good fit for JJ Redick to be the Lakers coach next year if LeBron stays in LA?
You think about how they were talking ball on that podcast, on JJ's podcast, how they were cooking together.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, they have the clipboards out. They are literally previewing LeBron. This is what I've heard, is that LeBron is teaching JJ how to coach LeBron and a LeBron team. It's really funny that like we've gotten to a point with LeBron James where he is on a podcast with a clipboard and he's drawing up plays, trying to get JJ Redick to stop doing media and come into coaching. Get your current coach the hell out of there. It's hilarious. And for a second, I say LeBron in LA next year makes sense if JJ Redick is the head coach. That is the only way that LeBron in LA makes sense next year, in my opinion. I think he's got to get out of there if not.
LeBron, Bronny, JJ Redick, the new big three.
Hey, call it the Big Three podcast. I mean, oh my God. Bronny would be a guest appearance on every other episode. That'd be electric.
It's not crazy. I think LeBron wants to install a puppet government over the Lakers that he's actually leading. So I think that makes sense. He would basically be like, behind the scenes co-coach. So I would imagine LeBron wants a situation where he has as much control as effectively a coach as possible. Like I don't think we'll actually see him as a player coach, but effectively we might.
That's fascinating. JJ and LeBron. If that happens and LeBron is able to just be behind the scenes, basically feeding JJ every little thing, like, hey, JJ, this is what we're going to do here. And then JJ's like, all right, everyone get together. Huddle up. So this is what LeBron just told me. You're going to do this. D'Lo, you're going to do here. You're going to sit on the bench. AD, you're going to run to the hoop. And LeBron, you're going to dunk it. That's the offense. I mean, they got to get Trae Young. The Lakers are nothing without one more guy that they can acquire in a big market trade, big market free agency play, right? Like, or is this team with JJ Redick, with Bronny James, and the squad they got, can that team go to an NBA Finals?
No, but it's not. Here's the thing. They almost, I know they lost in 5 to Denver. They lost on 2 buzzer beaters. They also believe there's really only one game where they weren't really in it in the fourth quarter. Like, they absolutely could be in game 6, if not in game 6 with a lead in that series. So, are they that far off? I don't think so, but add another year to AD and LeBron, it's not getting better for them. So no, they can't win a finals like this, but I don't think they're, for a team that lost in the first round, I don't think they're as far off as people would maybe say.
Yeah. Well, look at what the Celtics did this season. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They got to the NBA Finals the year before, and they literally traded they traded Marcus Smart, who was one of the most valuable players for the Celtics for years. And then you get rid of Robert Williams. You got rid of 2 guys and you upgraded. Your team was already good enough to win an NBA championship, in my opinion, or at least get there. We had seen it. They were on the brink. Tatum doesn't get injured in game 7 and they go to the NBA Finals against the Nuggets. But what did they do? They upgraded not 1 position, 2 positions. They created a super team this offseason by acquiring Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis to play with Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. That's what the Lakers need to do. I feel like they've settled during this AD LeBron era, and the Celtics, on the other hand, are Brad Stevens is a wizard. If you're the Lakers, you have to improve. You cannot come out there and expect Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell to be your two guards that are leading the way for y'all. That's just not how this world works. It's not.
No. I mean, look, this is LeBron has 1 to 3 on a crazy number. 1 to 3 years of playing like high level basketball left. Very impressive, the athleticism he showed this year as a 39-year-old. But like, he's got 1 or 2 more cracks at it. Stop fucking around. You need to get someone that gives you a legitimate chance and ball out. If I were LeBron or I were the Lakers, I would need to be in a situation where you have another reliable guy. You say Trae Young, great, someone like that. And I don't even know if I would really play LeBron that much in the first quarter of the season. I would just find a way to get to the playoffs with a healthy LeBron and 2 other players that can really play and have a chance. Why else are you doing it? There's nothing else to play for. You won the NBA in-season tournament. Your legacy is forever there.
Yep.
Like now you need to get another title.
What did you guys think of Charles Barkley saying that LeBron should retire when he's still really good and like he should almost retire sooner than later so that we don't see LeBron like the Wizards Jordan? That's what Barkley said. I pushed back on it. I'm like, why the hell are we trying to push away the greatest basketball player of all time from our game? All we did for 25 years was hate on this man and try and discredit his legacy and his greatness and everything that he did. I'm a Celtics fan. I'm a Stephen Curry lover, and I'm sitting here glazing LeBron James like he's my sunshine. I'm sorry. It's disrespectful what Charles Barkley was saying. Why are we trying to push away one of the greatest things that has ever happened in the history of life in LeBron James? Give me 7 more years of it. Put him in Golden State. Put KD in Golden State with LeBron and Steph. Let's see it happen. I can't even imagine a world where LeBron is not playing basketball or at least involved. Like he'll always be involved, but what did you guys think of Charles Barkley's comments to try and get LeBron James out of the game? Matt, I'll start with you.
I think I'll just be straight up. I think a lot of that, if you're Charles Barkley, bro, you're just trying to grab engagement. I'll just say that straight up. Because like you said, why would we push the greatest player that the game has ever seen away? Because I still think LeBron's got at least another ring left in him. I don't think he wants to retire till he gets another ring personally. So yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to try to push such greatness away. And we've talked about LeBron. Oh, he's going to start to regress. Yeah, we were talking about that shit freaking 10 years ago. And here we are. And the dude's pushing 40, showing little signs of regression. Not no signs, I should say. So, yeah, that shit's heinous to me.
They were pushing away Tom Brady, and then he won a couple more Super Bowls. So
Exactly. Exactly.
That's how it works. Petey, your thoughts on Charles Barkley trying to get LeBron James out of the NBA?
Yeah, I can like theoretically understand the sentiment, like ride into the sunset on top of your game or whatever, but like that's just not how it works. He's still competing at a really high level. You're not going to see the fall off like that unless there's an injury. If there's an injury, which he's had so few of, he obviously takes such incredible care of his body. If there's an injury, especially something serious, like, okay, I could see being like, listen, he's limited this season. It's not great. He has an Aaron Rodgers situation. I could see him being like, all right, that's a wrap. But you don't just finish a season playing the way he played and be like, I'm not coming back next year. And yeah, the Bronny situation, like, obviously he wants to play with Bronny. That'd be sick. Like, we want to see that too. We want, even if you see him in a limited role later on, like actually like not a super good impactful player, just playing a season like that, I would still enjoy that. Still enjoy the moments you get. He had that one play. He picked a steal off, went down court, slammed it in like game 3 or 4, whatever it was. I was like, I jumped off my couch. I was like, that's classic LeBron, and we're still seeing that. We're not
39 years old
next year. Yeah, he's crazy.
I was mind blown just in that Denver series. I don't know if it was because watching LeBron in the regular season for an entire year and then just rapidly he like turns on a switch and the playoffs happen. But when I'm watching LeBron versus Denver, it looked like he was 25 years old. He literally looked like a prime LeBron James at points. And obviously not the whole time. Like 2018 LeBron is something I'll never forget. 2013 LeBron, like those types of LeBrons are just flat out different because at that point, the league was at a point where nobody could beat LeBron. You just didn't have any answers. Now it's more like the league's a little better. They have some answers for LeBron, but you talk about the dunks, you talk about the fast break steal. When you see him just jump, you're like, that's not what it should look like at this age. That's not what it should look like. Why are we trying to get rid of that? Do anything in your power if you are the NBA to put LeBron James in a situation where he can go for that next championship, where he can go for his 5th championship, because both him and Steph finishing at 4, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think Steph gets one more. I think LeBron gets one more, and they might as well team up together to do it.
I got a question for you real quick, Jack.
Yeah, what's up?
With the whole Steph Curry getting another ring, do you think that's going to be in Golden State, or do you think that would be maybe somewhere else?
There's definitely a world where Golden State doesn't do what I want Golden State to do this offseason. They don't get like a Giannis, LeBron, KD type of player. And then they go back to what they did last year or this past year and even the past 2 years. Like, they've been kind of needing a guy to pair up with Steph and to have Steph get that superstar next to him. You can have Klay Thompson be the 3rd or 4th option on a team. You can have Draymond Green be the rock of a team. You cannot ask too much of those guys anymore. You need Steph to be with another star, another superstar, and that's how they win it all. If Steph goes somewhere else, then the reason why he went somewhere else was to try and go win a championship, and it would be in a very, very good situation. I don't see Steph like going home to like Charlotte, like
no way.
That's not Steph. I really hope and pray that he stays in Golden State forever, because Tom Brady leaving the Patriots, I'm still not content about that. Like, I can't go to sleep at night knowing that Brady left us and he's never coming back, or maybe he is. But for Golden State fans out there, I pray that y'all get to see Steph's full career. You don't got to deal with him going to another organization and trying to win and feel confident with another. It hurts your soul. It truly does. I think his best chance of winning another championship is in Golden State. Got to bring a star to Golden State to help them. But did either of you guys during this season feel like Phoenix, the Lakers, and Golden State could all still make a run? And obviously, they're all cooked right now. They're all done. But at points, were both of you telling yourselves, like, since they have KD, LeBron, and Steph, any 3 of these teams could still go to the NBA Finals?
Yeah, I definitely was. I think that personally, I was more leaning towards the Golden State approach of things, because at the end of the year, last couple of weeks, we obviously saw the battle with Golden State and Houston trying to fit into that last play-in spot, and it all comes down to experience, I personally think. And Golden State obviously has way more. They have the playoff experience, they have the finals experience, they know what it takes to get there, what to do in certain moments. So I guess my big thing was, yes, it was, I would say, Warriors, Lakers, and Suns, and I would put the Suns at the bottom only because the Suns are so freaking top heavy. They don't take anything to the rim. They don't really play a ton of defense. So it was, in my opinion, it was a recipe for disaster from the start with Phoenix. And now you're locked in with Bradley Beal, who has the worst contract maybe the history of the game has ever freaking seen. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Well, I got 2 final things here, 2 quick things to wrap this puppy up. At the end of this show, I like to always kind of have each of us give out a pick. Now, pick 'em, Petey, you already gave your pick. But if you want to find an NBA play between the 2 games, we look at the 2 lines right now. I believe Cleveland is plus 3.5 in Orlando. And then Dallas is minus 7.5 at home. I don't love Dallas minus 7.5 in a closeout game. That seems a little outrageous, but at the same time, they just blew them out by like 30. So I'm definitely going to take Dallas. I don't know if I would take the 7.5. I'd almost like lean like a player prop, like a Luka player prop or a Kyrie player prop. But my goodness, does Cleveland plus 3.5 just scream take that right now and even hammer the money line? My play, my jackpot, my morning jackpot is Cleveland plus 3.5. Pick 'em, Petey. You got anything else for us tonight?
Yeah, give me and this goes against my system, but give me the over in the Mavs game. I think this is kind of a situation where you get a ton of usage out of Luka. He's putting up big numbers. He's also, as a result, playing some softer defense. I think that's going to add up to points. I think it's going to be close enough of a game. I think that 7.5 is a decent number. So close enough. We're going to see some late fouling in the fourth quarter. Nothing like OT or anything, but some late fouling, some strong free throw shooting. And again, as we get deeper into the series, the defense gets a little bit softer. The offense finds better ways to attack the defense. I think that kind of leans toward the over a little bit. And the public betting kind of pushes it down a little bit because they're playing catch up with the unders that have been hitting. I like the over in this spot.
Fire. Great analysis. Well said by Pick'em PD. You can find them on SoBet.io. Matt, your thoughts on tonight's games and any plays, picks that stick out to you?
Yeah, like you said, I really like that Cavs money line pick. And then I think personally, I would be looking for a Luka Doncic player prop as well. You kind of took what I was going to say right there. I feel like Luka's going to come out and we're going to see what we saw out of regular season Luka. He's going to come out with a lot of fire. I wouldn't even be surprised to see like a 50, 17, 10 type of game from Luka tonight.
Hey, 50, 17, and 10. You heard it here first. Luka Doncic going for a 50-point triple-double. All right. That, honestly, I would love to see that, and I would not be too surprised. I think Luka hasn't played his best basketball in this series, and yet they're still, up a game with a closeout game at home, up 3-2 with a chance to move on and get to play a young Oklahoma City team. You get to avoid Denver for one more round if you're Luka Doncic. So get through this game, get to OKC, contest OKC, and then find yourself up against Denver in a conference finals. But yeah, Luka Doncic going crazy tonight. Hasn't had a great series. He's gonna bounce back. He had like 30. I think he had 35 last game, and I took his over a 33.5. He hit a 3 like right before they subbed him out because it was a blowout. So that was electric, but it wasn't like a convincing over 33.5. He really had to take every shot and make as many shots to get to that 33.5. But I love it tonight just because he hasn't played that well. And he's a bounce back kind of guy. His name is Luka Doncic. He's arguably the best offensive weapon in the game of basketball outside of Jason Tatum right now. So, PD, I got one final question for you. As you got your sunglasses on, I know we don't got the odds in front of ourselves right now, but if you had to pick a Super Bowl matchup next year, what would it be?
Give me the Bills. And then what are we going to see from the end?
Oh, my.
People want to talk about Josh Allen regression. Josh Allen in the final 12 games of last season, best quarterback in the NFL, best player in the NFL, easily. I think people are saying, oh, Diggs is gone. Diggs was gone halfway through the season. He was the best quarterback in the NFL with an unimpactful Diggs. Now we got the rookie tight end going into his second year with an offseason to work with Allen. I think we're going to see an electric offense. We got the new OC who 7-8 career with the Bills. We're going to see a really electric season from the Bills. I have no concerns about that. I think we're going to see the best offensive production in the NFL from the Bills. Tiny bit of regression defensively, you'd think, but really when you bring Matt Milano back, no, best linebacker combo in the NFL as well. So give me the Bills, no problem. And then I think the Niners are going to run it back. Eagles won't be as trash as they were last year, but they're not really competing. Cowboys, same old story. I think we'll see them a little bit worse off. I don't really see a team that can compete unless we see something crazy from, I don't even know, the Falcons with Kirk Cousins. Like, I just think the Niners are going to have a pretty easy path.
I ain't Tiger Woods. I am Tiger. Wish he could. Bro, Keon Coleman might be my favorite player in the entire NFL right now, and I've never loved a Buffalo Bills player ever in the history of life. So y'all are cooked next year. You have zero chance. But with that being said, the fact that Stephon Diggs leaves and the entire media goes, oh, my God, Houston's winning it all, which I love the Houston story right now. Like CJ Stroud, I was on it right when he got drafted, and I can't wait to see what he does to compete against Mahomes and all the great quarterbacks in the league. But I'm looking at this as a perfect situation for Josh Allen to prove all these haters wrong because he's the regular season quarterback. He is the MVP. He is the best regular season quarterback in the NFL. And so if you just come out hot next year, because they didn't, they had a tough start to this year. You know, those first 8 weeks, you're like, what the hell's going on? 4-5, whatever it was. And Josh Allen has the ability to prove everyone wrong. Stephon Diggs is gone, and they look better this year. Imagine if they come into this year, the offense looks 10 times more explosive. They're scoring with ease. I could see a world where Josh Allen is on a mission to win that MVP this year. And we say that every year, but out of all years, it feels like this could be a decent year for Josh Allen to go win that MVP award with kind of a interesting offense. But it feels like just because you got Josh Allen, it'll be very explosive. But respectfully, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl next year, and I'm going to take them to defeat the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, that's crazy. I said it. The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Okay, Matt, what are your thoughts? I know you gave me a nice old fist pump when the Cincinnati Bengals were announced. You a big Joe Burrow guy or what?
I'm not a Bengals guy. I've liked Jamar Chase. I've been there since the come up, so I like the Bengals. I like that pick a lot. But I feel like it's really, really, really hard. I know it's a cliche to bet against Patrick Mahomes, but 3 years in a row is just so hard to do. So I actually am gonna go. I like the Bills pick. I do. I think it's a sneaky pick. I think we're gonna see a different Josh Allen come out. And what I think the story of the NFL is going to be this year is coming out of the NFC, we're going to see the Green Bay Packers, man. We are going to see Jordan Love come out and tear up the league. Dontavian Wicks is going to come out and make a name for himself. He's going to be seen as the next Davante Adams. I said that. The next Davante Adams. And the Green Bay Packers are going to come out and absolutely wipe the NFC down and be the best team in the NFC and defeat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. And Jordan Love will cement himself in Green Bay Packer history.
Bro, if Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl, I don't care who they're playing. If they lose, oh my God. But if they lose to Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, pick a PD, oh my God.
We're burning the city down either way.
No, I appreciate both of y'all for coming on. Before we get out of here, I quickly want to go to the SoBet website and see if any plays have come up, and also check out Pick'em PD's profile one more time for the fellas. Any leans tonight, PD, that you might want to share? Maybe not a pick, but something you see or something sparks your eye as I'm checking out SoBet here.
I still got to get into the slate deeper. I know we got 15 games for MLB today, so I'm gonna do my deep dive in a moment here. We'll get the playoffs, you know, around noontime or whatever. But really, really locked in on the Cubs in the early game, just taking that money line spot. I'm excited about that one. Am I seeing a Cubs money line over there? That's what
we're seeing a Cubs money line out of what up, bro?
All right, he's on.
We got Mavericks. Oh,
the Dallas.
This guy's got to be a fucking. If the Cowboys were playing right now, you'd have a perfect parlay, fella. You definitely brick it. But Cavs money line, love it. Let's see, sharp dimes. What the hell are you doing? Damn, we got a 10-unit whale pending, bro. What is this?
Is that nasty?
Nah, no. What is it? Dallas Mavericks. -1.5 games. Oh, that's fire.
Oh, so that's just on the money line.
Yeah, because if they win, then they win the series 4-2. That's -1.5, baby. Ooh, we got some Orlando love. All right. Well, if you want to hop on SoBet and get these picks, SoBet.io, use code JACKPOT to sign up. This is the Morning Jackpot. That was the Morning Jackpot. Pick'em P, appreciate you coming on. Matt, appreciate you coming on, showing the loves. And that's going to do it for the Morning Jackpot. Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like, turn on the notifications. Subscribe to the SoBet YouTube channel. And more importantly, sign up for SoBet. SoBet.io. You got the app, you got the website. Use code JACKPOT. And make sure you tail every single pick from Pick'em Petey tonight because he won't have a good slate, and it starts with